Well, my laptop's not working, my PowerPoint's not recording right, so I just had to go and do this quick video. So I'm only going to do the highlights. I'm going to look at my PowerPoints to make sure I'm not missing anything. So I'm looking through here. One key thing is that if anything's going on or that you have a problem or whatever, contact Luann first, and then she'll get me involved or Becky or Mike involved if she needs help. But she wants to make sure that she knows what's going on or what problems you're having first, and then she'll designate it to who she wants. So contact Luann first if you have any issues. The theme is God's rock-solid truth in a world of shifting sands. Romans 12:2. It's one of my favorite verses. I'm going to read it. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. Romans 12:2. I recommend you, memorize it. It's one of my favorite verses, and I've kind of memorized it in the King James Version. This is in the Holman. But some key words in there. One is conformed. If you looked up the definition of it, it's to be similar in form or type, to agree. But basically, it's talking about being molded. So you don't want to be conformed, molded to this world. The next key word is transformed. Think of a butterfly changing into, a caterpillar changing into a butterfly. That's transformation. It's change is what transformation is. Renewing is a little bit different. It's giving a fresh life or strength to reviving, restoring, fixing. Think of the definition that I think is really good is you're renewing your mind to see things from God's perspective, from a biblical perspective. And then discern is another key word in that scripture, and it just means knowing right from wrong. So just kind of be familiarized with those particular words and that scripture. Those are the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, what the emphasis is, but you'll know that when you get there. Share everything on Facebook and on media. Any of the clip art, graphics, JPEGs that we've given you, the emails we've given you, make sure to make full use of the media. The cards, those invite cards that you've seen, hopefully you have, but know that we can continue to give them out even during VBS week, and they'll be available. All right, gonna skip that. One little note, just prepare your hearts. Make sure you're confessed up and seeking the Lord and walking in the Spirit for the VBS week. And, that you've heard us say, disciples make disciples. And they're trying to make disciples and see people saved. And so we've got to be walking with Christ. Oh, right here, I just talked about the fruit of the Spirit. You've heard the verse, it's Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. One of the key things here is that it's singular. The fruit of the Spirit is all of these things. In other words, if you're walking in the Spirit, you'll display all of these characteristics. It can't be like you can say, well, I've got most of them done. I'm in the Spirit in most. But in self-control, that's just me. I don't have self-control. No, it's if you're walking in the Spirit, you'll manifest all of them, and that has to be a work of Christ. Priorities are Jesus, of course, making friendships with the kids, being encouraging, looking for opportunities to praise the kid, and just make sure you don't enter into being self-focused, whether it's, you didn't get your ice cream sandwiches, your group, or whatever. Make sure it's focused on others and not on ourselves. Children's ministry policies are important. You can go on our website if you're not familiar with them, or you can get copies in our children's ministry area, either one. Those over 18 have to have background checks and do the ministry safe. I've contacted most of you about that, so I don't think we have any missing, and you guys have been great about getting that training done. Unplanned visitors. Let me give you for instance. Someone comes and says, well, I want to go around, a parent wants to say, I want to go around with my child tonight, to make sure she's okay, and say, well, let them know that, well, you have to actually have the training and have a background check for the kids' protection to serve. And you'll need to talk to Pastor Scott to get more details about that. Would you like to meet him? and then say, I will get him and he'll meet you in the fellowship hall, and I can give him more details there. I'm going to try to talk them into going to the adult class if they want to stay on campus. But if they're going to stay on campus, they have to go to the adult class or leave. But let me be the bad guy on that. There's bands. Remember the wristbands? We're going to have those again this year. If you're the kind of person that'll leave it at home, if you take it home, put it in the basket and put it back on when you come back. But try to wear them at all times. That's a way for us to know who's here and in a leadership position and who's not. And at the end of the week, you can give them away if you want. Behavior problems. We had a discussion about behavior problems. One key element is that if you have a child that's being a distraction, go sit down beside them. Give a loving touch to them, give them attention, and that often will eliminate any of the behavior problems. But if they go and they're extensive, then you'll want Becky, Mike, or I to meet with them, and we'll handle it in a real loving way. We won't make it like they went to the principal's office, but we'll take care of that. And, you want to always tell them, hey, now, you don't want to distract people from hearing about Jesus. You want your behavior to please God. That's kind of the emphasis you want to have. The bathrooms, the big bathrooms, stand outside the door. You can let 3 or so go in at a time. But if you start hearing a ruckus, then you need to go in and, settle things down. Small bathrooms, just stand outside the door. Don't let more kids in there than toilets. For the little ones, it should only be the adult women that are helping the little ones go to the bathroom if they need help. That's just a liability thing to protect the workers and the children. And the bathrooms in the sanctuary are okay to go if you go with them. Don't send any children by themselves to those bathrooms because there's no one really around that area. So only use the sanctuary bathrooms if you go with the group. Pay attention to around you, to, open doors. For instance, like if you see 2 kids go into one of the side Sunday school classes in the fellowship hall, that's, that you don't want them to be closing doors to go eat in there. So you would open the doors, tell them they, don't need to eat in there. But look for unoccupied areas, be aware of your surroundings. And if someone looks suspicious, tell one of the deacons or security team or me, Mike, or Becky, or Luann, and we will contact them at that time. And now Camille's trying to call me during this, and I have to hang up on it. There you go. Okay, still recording, I hope. So, okay, I think you know all of our cell phone numbers, Luann's, mine, Mike's, and Becky's. But if you don't, text us or call the office and send an email, and I'll make sure you get all those numbers. They're in front of me, and I could say them, but that would take too long. All right, okay. And I want to lastly read some information, reminders that Luann actually did at the beginning, but I was going to read them now. Important reminders. Please try to get there by 5:15 so you can begin getting name tags on, filling out roles, getting prepped so everybody's ready. So make sure to be early. Stay with your group at all times. Don't be distracted by your cell phones. You need to put them up and only peek at them at certain times that are appropriate. You want to show the kids full attention. She says here, it is so important to spend time with the children. Sometimes they just want to be listened to. Stay on schedule. Schedules are posted in a lot of locations, so you want to stay on schedule. Talked about sitting amongst the children. You don't sit behind them and don't sit in front of them. Sit with them and be a part of the group. And want to make sure that when they have the Bible study time that you stay there. That's not a break for those of you that go around. We want you to be in there listening to the lesson so you can share it with the kids and that sort of thing. At the end, please don't leave unless each child has been picked up. If one is running late, let us know, and maybe one of us can stay with them until the parents show up. But don't leave until all your kids are picked up if you've got a group. That's it. There's a lot more, but I need to make this video short. And, be prayed up, be praying for the event, and we're going to have a great time. Thanks. That's it. Sorry I had to do the video this way.